What's up guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the very first drift-oriented body kit developed for the GT86 and BRZ. And make sure to stick around to the very end for an awesome interview with the company owner and designer of the body kit, David Bobb. The Futago Line body kit is often cited by fans of the ZN6 as the main reason they got interested in the chassis as a drift car in the first place. With its hints toward classic 90s, early 2000 kits from companies like BN and Origin, the Futago Line body kit showed a lot of people that it was possible to style the ZN6 for drifting. Sure, there were other examples of great style on the chassis before the Futago Line kit, notably Matt DeGroot's car, but the Futago kit just had that presence that other kits on the market could not provide. As you can see here, it really captures that flared out bell shape that was made popular by various drift body kits developed for cars like the S13, S15, RX-7, R32 in the late 90s to early 2000s. With the cost of these now almost classic cars skyrocketing in the past decade and reliability drastically deteriorating as the cars age, younger car enthusiasts started to pick up more reliable chassis like the 350Z and now BRZ and GT86. These new chassis proved to be great, but the younger enthusiasts, myself included, were still in love with the styling of their favorite 90s cars. But companies just didn't offer anything close to that for the ZN6. The market was flooded with kits from companies like Rocketbunny and other time attack or track guy oriented aero, and it just seemed like there would never be a true drift style kit offered for the GT86. That was until a post popped up on a ZN6 forum by a young college kid who decided to take it upon himself to develop his own body kit. The kit quickly gained a cult following online, and people were constantly reaching out to try to get their hands on one. As it was just a one-man operation from a kid with very little experience in bodywork, it seemed to take forever. Before production, there were several iterations of the body kit, and David, the body kit designer, even managed to create the first ever Ganador mounting kit for the car in the middle of all of this. After years of waiting, the day finally came when it was announced that the kit was finished and would be available on Faction Motorsports for pre-order. I still remember how excited I was the day that post dropped. And although it's still quite hard to get your hands on a kit as there's a long waiting line and a few production issues that David's still sorting out, I've really enjoyed seeing what people have done with the kit over the past few years. Let's take a look at some of my favorite examples. First up, we got Kevin from SL Spirit. As you can see here, he's put his own take on the Haraguchi livery. He's on some VSKFs. This is the perfect ride height for a drift car. I don't care what anyone else has to say. Kevin was the first one to run Bomex mirrors on this chassis, and I think they go really well with the Futago kit. He's got a big old wing and tastefully done underglow that matches the color of the livery perfectly. None of that rainbow crap. And Lambo doors have never looked so good on a GT86, man. They just go so well with this kit. I absolutely hate this word, but this is exactly how you do the hot boy look without going overboard and keeping it classy. And we can't mention Kevin without mentioning his teammate Quinn, who had a matching livery and was also running a Futago Line kit at one point. Just look at these cars together, man. Absolute perfection. Next up, we got Justin, another super clean example. He's sitting on some nice Blitz wheels, and he actually took it a step further with a BN type hood that I think he put together himself. There are also pictures of his car with a Modelista lip on a stock FRS front bumper. I've actually seen this a lot recently, people taking different pieces of the Futago Line kit, mixing it with other aero on the market, and just kind of creating their own style. My absolute favorite example of this is Taylor's car right here. He actually mixed the Futago rear bumper and side skirts with a real BN front bumper. Such a clean build. I love this car. Now, the Futago kit was mainly developed as a drift body kit, but it's found its way into the stance world as well. I'm never going to sit here and lie to you guys, so I'm just going to be upfront and let you know that I'm not into the camber stuff at all, but I do have a lot of respect for the guys that love that culture, so I wanted to feature two examples of cars that took that route as well, both of which were executed very well in my opinion. Here is famous Ahmed's car. I tried my best to pronounce that properly. I probably look like a fool. But yeah, his car is super low, very clean. I love the hood, and this man has impeccable taste in wheels. I really like this rear shot right here. We can see he's got the chromed out FRS taillights, and this man's got the star pipes. Who else got the star pipes? It's just crazy. Now I know you guys have seen this next one. No one is lower than Antonio. I mean, this man's an absolute menace. What can I say? The Futago kit looks great super low to the ground. And hey, if you're a camber guy, might as well go all the way, right? This is wild. I love this red color. And the TRD fender garnishes look so great with the Futago kit. Shout out to the stance boys. Y'all are crazy. I don't always understand it, but even as a drift guy, it's definitely fun to see some of the stuff you guys build. All right, the moment you guys have been waiting for. An interview with the man himself, the developer of the Futago Line body kit, David Bobb. All right, everybody, we got David here with us. He is the founder, designer, creator of the Futago Line body kit, and we're going to be interviewing him today, asking him a few questions that I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
All right, David, so first off, why did you get into drifting in the first place?
There's a lot of people that are older than us, obviously, that got into drifting from like I don't know, back on like the LimeWire days. I heard like people used to like download drift videos through that, or like, or I feel like a lot of people like grew up like they would see old option videos or like clips of stuff. I never really saw any of that. Instagram was big enough when I was about to get my license and going into my license, so I was exposed to a lot more of it, of like the present stuff.
In the same way, like I wasn't I didn't have any older brothers to show me like option videos and all that stuff. I kind of had to find it myself. Like as cringe as it may sound, like I don't know if you remember like Haggard Garage and all that stuff was like first
Yep, yep,
starting, and
yep,
like
yep, yep.
that's kind of like our generation. Instead of like the option videos, we had YouTube. We saw Haggard Garage, even Adam LZ. Like we saw all these guys like drifting, and I think that definitely inspired me too.
So I think Adam LZ is a really good point. I know a lot of people shit on him now because of what he became. Like he's a whole huge thing now,
Oh,
but
bro.
like, dude, he was a BMX dude that just
Yeah.
ended up buying a 240 and slowly got into drifting. Like this,
He
literally just how it went.
I do like we can't be ashamed of it. That's kind of like our generation. That's how a lot of us got into drifting, and there's nothing wrong with that. Who are the people you look up to in drifting? Whether that's people you drive with or like some legends, whether it's like Japan drivers, US drivers, anything like that.
I want to say the people I look up to the most is probably just the people around me, man. Just like I said, I'm in a good spot where we have Faction Motorsports. So all those
Yeah,
dudes,
dude.
like watching
Yeah.
dudes drives and seeing how their cars are styled, that was always sick. The Front Street guys too, I got close with them. Like they're all super rad dudes too, super cool. And like just having people like that are crazy drivers, really nicely styled cars, and just super open and just being nice, awesome. Rich Whiteman, another fucking awesome dude. I don't know if you ever had the pleasure of meeting Rich Whiteman. He
No,
is
never met him.
the nicest, the best human being you'll ever meet in the world. He's obviously a super crazy talented driver. Obviously drives FD now too, but like that's another dude that just looking up to people that not only because their cars are sick, they drive awesome, but just how nice they are and how open they are and how cool they are as like friends with drifting stuff. Drifting's all about just like the people you're with, man. Like I've been to events where like I'm driving by myself, like there's other people driving, like try not to hop in with random people at a tandem, but like sometimes do that. But like going to events where you're with your friends and you're driving with your friends, like there's nothing fucking better than that, man. I think another huge part that I forgot to include is Final Bout. Final Bout was crazy because I've actually I didn't get to go to the first one because it was invite only then. It wasn't really posted much. Like there wasn't much information about it. But right as everything popped off and everyone saw everything, dude, the next year, me and two friends drove out. So we all worked. We all couldn't really go for like an entire weekend to go do cool stuff. But we literally drove out Friday after work at like 8 or 9 p.m. Drove out. It's 16 hours from us. So drove all the way out there. Got there Saturday midday, chilled for the whole day, slept that night, woke up on Sunday, chilled for a little bit, and left and drove all the way back home just to make it Monday morning at like 6 a.m. to just be able to get to work the next day. So like, yeah, so Final Bout was a huge one. I tried to make it out to everyone I could since that one. Luckily, me and my team were lucky enough to drive Final Bout 4, but even this year, Final Bout 5, we weren't driving, dude. We flew out there, we hung out.
What's been the vibe of bringing these cars out to Final Bout? Because I mean, it's dominated by a lot of the S13 guys, JZ guys, and
so it's weird. So with my car specifically, there's none at all. The only dude that drove with one of our chassis before was, I think, Matt. I don't think honestly after Matt anybody had FRS or BRZ that they drove in for a Final Bout.
Does it seem like everyone's excited for the new chassis? Like accepting of it at an event like that, or some people still kind of iffy?
So a lot of the teams are super sick. Have a lot of friends that are a bunch of different teams, bunch of different areas, but a lot of people are super stuck up in the old stuff, man. I mean, it's super sick. I would love to own an S chassis. Still plan on it one day, hopefully, if maybe prices possibly somehow drop or something. But there's a lot of people that really stick onto that stuff and just don't really want to drop it. And like I get it, if I was in that position too and I saw some I'll say new up and coming thing, but like some new cool thing coming up, I'd also be like kind of maybe a little salty, maybe a little kind of like, no, this is cool, this is what cool has been, this is what cool is. But I mean, just like you just gotta pay attention to how things are going, man. It doesn't seem like it's gonna get any better. Like think about all these people that have all these opportunities to build all these cool cars through all these years. Now you have, I don't want to say it's next generation, but like a lot of people our age or even younger coming up into it, they're never going to be able to own S chassis. If they do, they're going to be super expensive. They're going to be scared to drive them and do
there won't be any parts. Even if they get a good deal on the car, the engine's not going to last. They won't be able to get any parts to replace anything.
Dude,
if they break
SRs right now are like
what happened to that?
$6,000. It's crazy. Meanwhile, one of our motors, our cars are still pretty new, but you could find one of our motors for like $1,000, $1,500.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I just no, I've got a lot of respect for the guys that came for us, definitely. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
100%.
I
All
see
respect.
a lot of those guys. I see a lot of people on Instagram. Every once in a while, I see someone sold their S13. They're picking up an 8.6. I feel like that's starting to get a little bit
So
more
I
popular
think
now.
so. Lay
No
was a
need to say any
really
names, but
good. No, so Lay from Proceed is a fucking perfect example because
oh
this
yeah,
was
him.
he
Yeah,
literally just
he
got
definitely.
his car, and dude, he literally won first in the individual battles at a Final Bout 5 this year.
Yeah, dude, he's a legend. Definitely.
Like,
But
it's
that's
insane, and it's cool because it, like you said, it puts us on the map because you see someone
mhm.
who's been driving a different car that drives super hard, and then you see them hop into one of these and do just as good, if not better, and
Yep,
hold up with some of
yep.
these other cars. Like, dude, like that's sick. So I feel like
It's
seeing some of those other dudes do it that are already, I don't want to say respected, but like already have
yeah, respect,
some sort of yeah, I guess the respect is like seeing those
experience.
dudes hop into it is sick because it just proves that like the car is fucking capable,
That's
man. You
right,
hop
baby.
in,
That's
goes.
right.
It's not everyone seems super open to it. I don't know if I should be saying this out loud. I don't know if you want to put this in or not, but like I've even heard someone before say someone like one of these bigger dudes where it was like I think it was probably about my kit, but someone was like, "Yo, if you want an S13 or if you want an S chassis, get an S
Yeah,
chassis."
yeah, yeah. Bro, they're mad.
Like don't try to make something else an S chassis. If you want BN, then get a car that has BN.
Oh,
I remember
bro, they're
watching the
mad, bro.
video and hearing that, and I was like, "Oh, man,
Oh man,
fuck."
they're down, bro. They're down.
Yeah,
It's okay, man.
so
It's okay, bro. They're gonna want one of these. They're gonna want one of these one day.
yeah, so
Whatever,
like,
whatever,
yeah.
bro. That's funny.
I'll say there's no argument. There's no argument, dude. It's just it's, and then why, especially with dudes like getting into it, like why force yourself into a spot where like not only are you trying to learn something, but your car is also fighting you too. Things are
Yeah.
breaking. Cars are already half-assed because they've went through like 5 or 6 different hands. It sucks, you know. And like if you hop into one of these and it's just like everything's ready, the car's ready there for you. It's just about you building up to be able to drive it, you know.
Yeah, dude. And as long as you just change the oil on this thing, like it's gonna run for over 120,000 miles at least. There's not been a lot of
Dude,
like. I mean, they're new. Like these things last, bro. Like people are so scared that they're gonna blow up, but they really last a long time, even if you
I've
drift them.
had I've had my car for 8 years. The last like 4 have been like super hard on the car. Hundred
Yeah,
thousand miles since I got it, dude. Nothing, no
yeah.
issues at all. The only
I've
one
got
issue I've
plenty
ever
of friends with that are over 100,000 miles that drift multiple times a year and just completely fine. I think so many people were scared at the beginning because I mean, if you remember, like on forums, like on Facebook, it seemed like every couple of months, people were like, "Oh, my engine blew up. Oh, something went wrong." It's because they were doing fuckboy shit to their engine. They just like random tunes and like, I mean, there was that engine recall too for the earlier engines, but it's just,
So
yeah,
I had that recall too. I haven't changed it. No issues, knock on wood. But
yeah,
yeah, and it's just like you have to think about like for all the posts you see of people blowing motors up, you have to think of the hundreds of thousands of other cars that are out there
that
that
don't
don't blow
even
up
ever
motors.
go on the forums that don't like it's just, it's like it's always
Exactly.
like the bad it's gonna highlight, it's like they're the loudest, like I guess, minority that will post.
Yeah, 100% for sure.
All right, David, I think this is kind of an inspiring question to all the younger guys who are out there. I think people, if you're comfortable with sharing your age, how old were you when you started developing this kit? Yeah.
So I got this car a little bit before I got my license. Like I mentioned to you, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I actually, when I got the car, I was 17. That was 2013, 14, something like that. So,
Okay.
2014, I think. Yeah. So, the car was fairly new. Obviously, they're really expensive then. So my car was actually salvaged. We bought it as a salvage car. Had to fix some stuff on it. The only way I could, afford the car back then. So,
Yeah.
that was 17. I actually, like I said, I pulled up my Instagram just to be able to like timestamp some of this stuff. So it wasn't long after I got the car, like I said, where I started seeing drifting stuff, started appreciating and seeing how cool it was. So for a while, I was looking for just some super thrashed or beat up S13 or S14 side skirts. I got the first pair of side skirts in 2017. That was like the first time where like I actually had like a physical pair of side skirts that I started working on.
Hmm.
They were some S13 side skirts. They're probably like BN styled or something like that. They're just some like generic side skirts. So I got those. Like I said, I knew absolutely nothing, so I had to go through one friend to another. Someone knew a little bit of fiberglass work, and then someone else knew a little bit of body work. So Like I said, I didn't even have a garage, so everything I did was just literally in my driveway. And went with side skirts first, and then after that was front bumper a little bit after. And that front bumper, man, the first front bumper I made was just a whole mixture of everything from OEM plastic to expanding foam to like clay and like body filler and epoxy and a little bit of fiber, just like a whole mess of everything. Like when that bumper was like not finally done, because it wasn't done for a long time, but like when I put it on the car, like that thing weighed, no joke, no exaggeration, probably like 30 pounds. Like it was ridiculous. It was so heavy. It was cool because like anything I hit, it wouldn't break because it was so solid. But yeah, I know it was a mess. So then I made the
and
the front
you
bumper
like you said, you had no experience with any of this, so it wasn't just, oh, throw it up, throw the bumper on the car, and then throw a little bit of Bondo on there, and then it's done in a week, or get this side skirt from an S13, put it on there, oh, it's done. This took you months and months of trial and error, and just like cutting stuff up, and like I mean, I remember like sitting on the forums and stuff sometimes, seeing like, oh, when's this going to be done, when's this going to be done. It felt like it took forever, but it makes sense now, because I mean, you're starting from nothing. You've got these pieces that are not meant to be on this car in the first place, like just a random side skirt from a whole other car. You've got a lip that you took for the GT86, and you're trying to mold it to a completely different shape. So I mean, this wasn't like an overnight thing for you. This took
no,
months,
man,
didn't
not
it?
at all. It was like doing something, getting it kind of done, being like, all right, well, like this is okay, and then after a little bit looking at it, be like, wow, this looks terrible, and then like digging into it again, and like kind of not starting from scratch, but kind of just like taking stuff off and just doing it again. So the first time the car was like completely painted and like this kit was on was H2O of 2017. So H2O 2017 was the first time front bumper side skirts were on the car. I still have the stock rear bumper. The rear bumper, it took me till I started the rear bumper in 2018, and then the actual rear bumper that I kind of got to wasn't done until like 2019, going into 2020 almost. Like it was terrible. Like the rear bumper was definitely the most amount of work, because it was
How
just
did you get that shape on the rear bumper? Because there wasn't really anything you could. It's not like you could take an
nothing.
S13 bumper and try to mock. Like how did you do that?
Yeah, dude. So funny enough, I actually bought two thrashed S13. I was one S13 rear bumper and one S14
Hmm.
rear bumper, and I actually ended
Hmm.
up cutting out that rear section. I knew fiberglass a little bit better by that point. So what I did was I took the rear section and put it in the back. And what I
Yeah.
did was I made a mold of the shape of what it's supposed to be. And I took that and I made 6 pieces where it was like that kind of flare or whatever.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
put 3 pieces on one side of the bumper, 3 pieces on the other side of the bumper, and just glassed it all
Uh,
together. The first one I ever made was out of foam, and like I shaped it and tried to do it, but the shape was completely off. So like I went with that, and like I said, around 2019, probably in 2019 was when the rear bumper was like finally kind of looking like what it was supposed to be. And it doesn't get much better from there. The first kit that we got from the first producer I found, finding a producer itself was terrible. It's really hard when you're not in that business and you don't have those connections to those companies and those people.
I feel like it's
Um,
extra hard in the US too. It seems like, I mean, I may be wrong, but in Japan, there's so many companies making fiberglass kits. Like if you want to work with somebody, I feel like you can find someone who knows fiberglass well and can reproduce it fairly easily, compared to like the US. Like, I mean, I don't know much about like what kind of like I don't when I think of like fiberglass kits, I definitely don't picture them being made in the US. Like maybe NASCAR stuff, or like some drag
so
stuff. Maybe I don't like what kind of company would you even like look for to make fiberglass bumpers for a drift car in the US?
yeah, so that's the thing. Like I knew nothing. I got lucky enough where by that point I was already kind of in like this car scene, I guess you could say. I had
Mm.
friends that were doing show stuff. I had friends that were doing drift stuff. So through the grapevine of one friend to another friend to another friend to another one, I got linked up with some guy. I have no idea who this guy is to this day, but he's some older dude that lived out in Cali, I believe, and he did some sort of SEMA stuff for one company or another. So he had a few people that he linked me up with, and that's where I met the first producer. So first producer, the kits they made were phenomenal. They were, funny enough, the kit that's on my car still is actually that original first kit.
Really?
Yeah. I still have one extra bumper from them that I'm never gonna ever get rid
Keep
of
it, bro.
because
Keep it.
it's super sentimental. But yeah, so that was the first company I used. Through that company, we probably got, I want to say, no, we got the original six from them because I got the first one, then I had five that I sold. One of the original ones also being Kevin out in Chicago.
Okay, yeah. Is that one of the SL Spirit guys?
He's still, so he still has that original.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. One of my awesome friends, literally loved that. That he literally drove out from Chicago to Jersey to come pick up the kit in person, and we mounted it on his car.
That's so cool.
That was super sick. So yeah, that was the first producer that we used. They were super rad, unfortunately. So yeah, when we got that first kit, it was promise after promise, like, yeah, like just send us all your orders, like don't even do pre-orders, just like throw it up and just like anyone that buys, like we'll make it and we'll ship it out. They did drop shipping and everything. And yeah, we had like 20 something orders within like the first, not even the first week, like the first couple of days. I was like, all right, this is
that
sick.
when you launched it on Faction?
Yes. So that was shout out to Faction 2, Frankie, awesome dude, love those guys over there. So yeah, all those were sold through them. And like I said, we got those first 5 kits. We're like, all right, this is sick, this is awesome, it's gonna keep going. And then it was like 1 month goes by, nothing. 2 months goes by, nothing. 3 months goes by. I'm like, all right, like, are we making kits or not? Like, yeah, we'll make them. And like 6 months goes by, and like even more. And like the whole time, yeah, we had like 20 some people that ordered, and like we kept updating them every little bit. Like, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry you're still waiting, but like they told us they'd have them, they still don't. So we kept trying to push it back. So we ended up, like I said, I think doing around 10 of those sales actually ended up getting kits, and then we just had to refund the rest of the people because we're like, yeah, I'm sorry, but there's like no way. I found the third producer, which is the one I'm still currently half using. The last pre-order that we had was still from them. And they're really good. They make awesome stuff. But the thing is that I've realized with a lot of these companies is if they have bigger projects, they kind of just throw you on the side. So it's like every time it's just excuses, promises. So it's like, all right, like in a month, you're going to have 5 kits. All right, sick, let's do it. Month goes by. Yeah, we're still working on them. 2 months goes by. All right, first one's ready. Come pick it up. Like, all right, you guys are supposed to have 5 ready a month ago. Like, what's going on? I half get it. With this company I'm using now, they do a lot of really high scale things. So like, obviously, if there's like some big company that's paying you a couple $100,000 to do a project, they're going to take that over me doing a couple kits. You know? So it's been unfortunate. It sucked a lot. What makes it worse is it's awesome, but at the same time, it's the worst thing where I just get so many messages of people being so interested where it just sucks. Like I
can imagine it's overwhelming sometimes, bro.
Dude, it sucks. Like even if you, so not even talking about the business page, but even like my personal page, like my last post looking at it now is from February. Like it's gotten to the point where like I feel bad even posting anything because I know people are going to message me and I just have no answers for anyone. So it sucks. I've been reaching out to a bunch of companies. There was also a thought of taking it overseas, which is still possibly an idea. I mean, it's cool because everything we've made up to this point has been made in the USA. So it's a cool little extra thing to show that like we make this stuff in the USA. I don't know, especially with like
it's just scary because people will duplicate shit, you know, they'll sell rip-offs of it. I would say like even like send it to me and I'll get it done in Japan here, but I mean even at that, like I feel like the shipping cost will just completely ruin everything. I think what you've got in the US right now is because I mean some other companies are going to start making drift kits in Japan and they're going to sell them in the US, but your advantage right now I feel like is like if you make it in the US, you can save that money on shipping and then offer the kit for everyone in the US for a better price. I don't know, that's super hard, bro.
The first producers I've used were all somewhat local to me, where they were within like 3 hours of my house. So it was cool because like it was
that's big too,
you know, like they'd make something and I'd be able to just drive over there, see it in person. Like, all right, this is cool, this is sick, this works. There was a company that I got linked up to that's out in India that makes a lot of fiberglass stuff. That was a thought. There's a whole bunch of companies out in China that make fiberglass stuff, but one, quality is a big thing, like not being able to oversee any of that stuff, and with me not having a warehouse here to so first of all, money. If you want to buy from a company like that, you're buying 20, 30, 50 kits at once.
Yep.
So for me to fork out like $25,000 and just send it out to a company to just make kits and ship them over, like it's a lot of money. Plus, once not only do they have to make it and ship it over here, but once it's here, it's like you have to have a warehouse or some sort of space to keep all this stuff, you know? So that's been a big thing. So I'm kind of in a weird spot where it's like the business has to grow. So the cool thing is the business, like it's one of those things that every business would love, where like you have more customers than you have product. But at the same time, that's what screws everything up. It's because we don't have any, like, it's really hard to get product. It's just like, it's really hard to, like I said, just even answering people, like it sucks. Like a lot of the times I'm answering, like I literally, like I open these messages, I'm like, dude, like I'd love to tell you, like I got you, like I'd love to set you up with a kit, but like I legitimately can't. So
dude, you're gonna figure it out. I believe in you, bro. I think you got this. You're smart enough to start this whole thing and kind of start the building of a company at the young age of 25, bro. You're gonna figure this all out and it'll be good. But
yeah, man, and it's cool because we have a whole lot of other parts too. So obviously I have like aero stuff that we're working on, but there's a ton of other little stuff that we have too. So it's all coming together slowly. Like I said, money's a big thing too. Maybe in 25, I had a full-time job. I was working straight out of college. That was cool. I ended up leaving that job to work something part-time to try to put more time into it, because I thought going from college to working full-time, I was like, oh man, like I have like a steady income now. Like if I just had more time, I'd be able to dedicate it more to this, make more products, send them out, and get more stuff done. So I left that job to work part-time. Now I work part-time. Like, wow, like I have a little bit of extra time, but not only do I not have a garage, my garage is like almost an hour away from my house, so like just getting there sucks. But then also like I have time, but like now I don't have as much money to throw into my business to expand it that way too. So it's this weird balance, kind of like back and forth,
it's
like
crazy.
Yeah, so try my best. We'll see. Like I said, like I mentioned to you before we started talking, I don't know if we were recording it or not, but this is definitely something that's like a 5-year-ish goal down the line. It's set everything up now, get everything nice once these prices are already going down on the chassis, man. So I want to be in a spot where I'm ready to, where everything's set up, we're ready to go. So like whatever someone wants, like it's ready to go for them, you know? So
yeah, man, this is going to be the car within the next 5 years. Is going to be a huge boom. I have no doubt about that. And yeah, I mean, people are gonna want kits. People are gonna want to drift these cars, and I mean, everything is setting up for this car to be the next chassis that people are going to be drifting. So what are your future plans for Futago?
Right now, so I'm sure you saw one of the latest posts that we've had with Futago Line. We have that trunk wing that's ready that we're going to be selling. The roof wing we're working on, and over fenders. So that trunk wing is currently at a new producer's getting molds made. They're out on the West Coast. So we're going to see how it goes with them. If they keep up with everything like they're supposed to, then I'd love to send everything out to them. But yeah, man, taking it step by step, trying to do as much as I can. Dude, it sucks. It gets to the point where if I break a kit, if I break anything on my car, like I literally have no way of even getting stuff for myself. Like, it's terrible. One huge thing for me is a car, like a cool looking car is sick, but a car that doesn't have a cool interior doesn't cut it. So there's a bunch of little stuff that we're working that's other little accessories, other little add-on stuff. So I have a list of like probably like 20 different things that are currently,
and you guys have like all the Ganador stuff, right? You have like the adapters for the Ganadors.
We're working actually on the second gen mirror brackets right now too. So we have actually somewhere on my desk over here, I have the window plates already made. Those should be coming out soon. And yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I have a list of just right here of probably 20 different things that are either A, started on already, or B, are right behind, ready to go. So there's a bunch of stuff. There's gonna be a lot of really cool stuff. We're hoping to provide just everything, man. A couple of these.
I think the last question I kind of wanted to ask you, as someone who's kind of one of the OGs of drifting this car, what advice do you have for someone who just picked up their FRS, their BRZ, they don't know anything about drifting? What is something that, let's say you see them at the track day and they say, hey David, what do I do? What do I need to do? I don't know anything about tires. What is like some advice you'd give like a new guy?
Sick.
What's like the main thing?
So I'm no pro drifter. There's plenty of other people out there that have really good advice too. With these cars specifically, I mean, coilovers and a seat, man, just get out there. There's no better way to learn than seat time. The one thing I had a lot of trouble with was, I guess what I've heard from other people driving my car, is probably the electric power steering. where it's just so different. So the one issue I had for the longest time is just spinning out all the time and just not being able to control the car. So you don't want to run tires that are skinnier or bigger than 215s. I think stock power seems like 215s work the best. Yeah. Also, don't keep your tire pressures up too high. I mean, it depends where you're at. I mean, I know when I was starting, I was probably like 50 psi, like just trying to learn how to get the car sideways.
Me too.
Now on 215s, I mean, so there's sometimes where I'm running the tires at like 20 psi, you know. So soft rear dampening is definitely a really, really big thing that that I've noticed helps the car from spinning, because once it's softer in the rear on transitions, instead of it just spinning like it's on ice, the car kind of digs down more and it compresses, so it actually catches the car, so you keep drifting. Other than that, man, you just get out there. Seat time. That's it.
All right, David. Well, thank you so much for the interview. I'm glad you could be here to tell us all about this process of the Futago Line stuff. I think we've all been excited. I remember sitting in college, seeing this kid developed and just getting so excited. You're definitely one of the people that I think has inspired me to drift this car, because I just saw you doing this. I'm like, damn, we can really do this. So yeah, man, I think you're awesome for the community, and yeah, we're all super hyped to see what Futago's got to offer in the future. Thank you so much, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. It means the world. Very, very nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
There it is, guys, the Futago Line kit for the GT86 and BRZ. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and make sure to come back next week for another GT86 video. Drop a like and subscribe. Thank you so much.